Hey everybody, my name is Josh LaFleur from Late Start Piano. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of transposing in music. If you are brand new to the piano, this might be a little bit too much just to start, but you can stick with it and see for yourself if you can keep up or not. So, just to start off, every song is in a key. So, what is a key? A key is just a specific set of notes that a majority of the song is in. So, we're going to be using Let It Be by the Beatles as the example. If you don't know it, it sounds like this. That's pretty much the whole song, very simple. But we know it's done and it feels completed because it's in the key of C major and we end on that C major chord, C, E, and G, right? So if we do the same thing, but we don't land on C major, say we do B flat, that sounds weird, right? It doesn't sound like it's completed. Or if we do the same thing, but we land on, let's say, B major. Also sounds wrong, right? It doesn't sound complete. It's only when we land on the right? That sounds much more complete because it's in the key of C major. So when you're in a certain key, it's just the song follows the key that it's in, obviously the scale. So C major, it's all the white notes, C up to C. And then it might throw in a little black notes, like if you notice we threw in the F sharp here. But mostly it's all white notes. And again, it's really about how the song ends. Whenever it feels finished, that's what the key is in. That would be your tonic or the one of the scale, right? And the cool thing about pianos, and a little bit different from other instruments, is pianos can play music in any key. So we could take that same thing and we can put it into a G major instead of C. And how do we do this? Well, we have to know our scales. So we know C major scale is all the white notes. We also have to know the numbers of each scale. So we're in C major, C is 1, D is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then back to 1. So those would be the scale degrees, right? So in the key of C major, if you play a G, that would be the 5. That would be the 5 of C major. The 5 chord would be G major, G, B, D. But if we want to transpose that, we can view it as numbers, which is why transposing can be so helpful, because it can really help you understand, first of all your scales, because you have to know your scales. You'll know all your scales, you know all the chords in each scale. You will know music theory because you're going to understand how everything relates to the key. And it's going to actually challenge you to use your brain. So you're going to have to actually think about what you're doing when you're transposing, okay? And you can do it in all 12 keys again. Not like other instruments where maybe you need a capo with the guitar, or maybe it's a saxophone and it's an E flat instrument and you really can't transpose to all 12 keys. Piano you can do that for. So I'm not going to go through all 12 in today's video. I'm just going to show you a couple examples. So our original Let It Be, we start on the 1 chord. Remember, it's in C major. We start on 1. Then we hit this F sharp. And F sharp in C major, 1, 2, 3, 4. In the key of C major, F is normally natural, right? We said it's all black notes. But in Let It Be, he throws in an F sharp. So that would be the sharp 4. So we can still give a number. It's just a sharp 4. Then we go to G, which is the 5. And we're just playing an inversion in the right hand. So B, D, and G. That's the first inversion G major chord. Then we just go to the 6, A minor, root position. And then we just drop down to the 5, 4. And then we throw in this F6. So we have the D and the E and A. So we have F, then we have A, D, and E. In numbers for F, we have the 1, the third, because A is the third, right? In F major, A, F, A, C. And then we also have the 6, which is D, because remember we started F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we have the E, which would be the 7. So we call that an F6 chord. And then we're right back to the 1. So in G major, if we go around the circle of fifths, and let's say we want this song in G major, we would do the same thing. We'd start on the 1, so G major. We would play the sharp 4. And again, this is where you really need to know your scales, because now we're in G major. So G major, all the white notes, except F sharp. Right? So in G major, we start on 1. The 4 in G major is C. 1, 2, 3, 4. But remember, in Let It Be, we have to sharp the 4, so we play C sharp. And then we're right into the 5, which is D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we play a D major chord. So just in the beginning, here comes the sharp 4. Then we go to the 5. Then what? Then it goes to the 6 chord. And the 6 of G major is E minor. So we go up to E. And then we do the same walk down. And then again, we play that 6. So now we have the C in the bottom. So A is the 6th of C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we have the 7, which is B. Right? And now if you notice, now G sounds resolved. G sounds like the 1 chord. Right? And we can just keep going around this circle of fifths. Let's say we wanted to do it in D major. So now D major is the 1. You play it in D major. D, E, F is a scale. F sharp and C sharp. So now we have 2 sharp notes. So again, follow the same process. We start on the 1, which is D major. We play the sharp 4. The sharp 4 in this case would be G sharp, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Normally in the scale of D major, the G is natural, but we're playing the 4 is natural. So we're playing a sharp 4, which would be G sharp. So we have the 1. Then we're going to go right into the 5. And the 5 of D major is A major. So we'll be playing an A major chord. So 1, here's a sharp 4, G sharp, right into the 5, which is A. Then the 6, which is B minor. Then the walk down. Right? So again, 1, sharp 4 to 5, 6, the walk down. And now D sounds like the final. And you can keep going with this. So you can keep going all the way around the circle. Once you figure out the numbers, once you can assign the numbers to the song, then you can play it in any key that you want. So here's our original. Then we did G major. Then we did D major. And you notice it all sounds the exact same. It's just the pitch is different, right? It's either higher or lower, but the intervals between the notes are all the exact same. And that's why transposing is so useful. And that's why it really helps you with your music theory and your understanding of music in general, because you now can start to think of it as numbers instead of the actual individual notes. So it's very difficult to think and say, okay, if you try to remember, let's say that Let It Be example again. If you try to think, okay, I need to play C major, and then I need to play an F sharp, and then I go G major first inversion, then I go A minor root position, right? That's a lot difficult. Instead of all that, you can say I go 1, Sharp 4 to 5, 6, drop down. It's much easier. It's much easier to remember that, first of all, as numbers. And then you can take those same numbers and put it into any key. Where if you don't use the number system, it's like, okay, if you know the chords are C, G, A, and F, but you want to play it now in F major, you can't play the same exact chords because it's not going to sound correct. So you can use the numbers to actually transpose that. And again, I'm a fan of using your mind when it comes to the piano. You have to use your brain and put some effort into it. And you also have to be able to move, obviously, physically, right? Do the physical movements, but it's also very important to do the mental work as well. So if all that helps, I do have a free guide, a free PDF on my website. Link is down below in the description. It has 34 essential tips for the brand new piano player to get started with playing the piano. In addition, I am offering lessons right now via Zoom. To get started with that, send me an email. Link to that is in the description below. My name is Josh LaFleur. Happy practice.